On July 1st of 2019, New Orleans, Louisiana became the first major city within the United States to not have a public school system, according to the Lens. After Hurricane Katrina, the state of Louisiana simply did not have the funding to reopen their public schools safely for their students. Growing up in the Midwest, I'm sure a lot of us remember seeing images such as these of New Orleans residents awaiting rescue on the roofs of their homes and vehicles after Hurricane Katrina. But what happened to the kids that were our age at the time of this natural disaster? Their entire school system is now overran by charters. Charter schools are able to operate at their own standard level of education, as each charter is ran by an independent non-for-profit organization. I can assume today that the majority of my audience here at Shawnee has attended a school that was within a public district at some point in their life. When you attend public school, the funding for yourself, the student, and the classroom comes straight from the district. According to a recent study conducted by the Education Research Alliance of New Orleans, the funding within a charter school comes directly from the non-for-profit, which is more often than not spent on administration rather than per student. Today I hope to teach you about how this system was implemented within New Orleans, Louisiana, the impact it's having on a major city within our country, and an overall look at the public school reform occurring in New Orleans. I believe that this is a big part of the future of education within our country. Before Hurricane Katrina struck New Orleans on August 29th of 2005, there were very few charter schools within the city school system. Most students within the city attended a public school at that time. After Hurricane Katrina hit and there was not enough funding to reopen the public schools, the state stepped in and dispersed these schools to different non-for-profit organizations implementing the charter system. Now, to have a spot in one of these schools and a seat in the class, students must go through a process of applying and entering a school lottery. At the same time, the state of Louisiana implemented performance-based contracts on these charter schools. Before Hurricane Katrina, you had to attend the public school that was within your district. After Hurricane Katrina, you were able to attend schools across the city. According to Professor Douglas Harris at Tulane University, schools began receiving funding based almost entirely on the number of students that they were attracting. Yet, within this same study, Mr. Harris acknowledges that there has been an increase in performance of students across the board. A lot of this increase can be related directly to the increase in funding that we see from non-for-profits compared to what the state had available for the public school system. Though, on the other hand, we see underperformance from students that are still living in poverty or have special needs and that generally struggle with school. With these contracts being performance-based, they're often lost between the cracks, as is explained by Washington Post reporter Valerie Strauss. Performance going down means schools will close. The students that are in those schools when they close are often displaced and have to find a new school that could be miles away from home with not that great of an increase in the quality of education that they will be receiving. In this infographic provided by the Education Research Alliance, we see that in 2019, only 15% of students were attending a school with an A grade, and only 16% of students were attending a school with a B grade. This is in comparison to 2005. The statistics ran the year that Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. I personally worked firsthand with students that were a part of this system with my professors, non-for-profit, and YANSA. I saw firsthand how this charter school system affected families within the New Orleans area. New Orleans is a city that has high cost of living and a low minimum wage. Most parents had to both work to support their families within the city. So that means that they were placing a lot of faith within the school system that their children attended. The school lottery created a system where siblings would not win spots or seats at the same school, which made extracurricular activities and socializing with children their age almost impossible. I hope that today the audience has been able to learn about public education reform in New Orleans, Louisiana. The research conducted and cited within this speech has only been performed over the past 15 to 20 years. This is a very large development in modern history. There are many opinions that can be found online regarding if charter schools are truly benefiting New Orleans or not, but there's no doubting the change that has occurred since 2005. In a country where we pride ourselves on having freedom of choice, what happens when that freedom of choice becomes limited or is out of our control? I urge you to form your own opinion on this topic today and imagine what you would do if you were in this situation. Thank you for your time.